Hello, welcome to my YouTube video world. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about microbiome, gut bacteria, and digestion, etc. So come along with me. So the 21st century has witnessed a complete revolution in the understanding and description of bacteria in ecosystems and microbial groups and how they are regulated by complex interactions among microbes, hosts, and environments. The human organism is no longer considered a monolithic assembly of tissues, but is instead a true ecosystem composed of human cells, bacteria, fungi, algae, and viruses. They all share a basic functional principle. Chemical communication is the universal language that allows such groups to properly function together. Now, these chemical networks regulate interactions like metabolic exchange, antibiosis, and symbiosis, and communication as well. Our gut bacteria are carrying out chemistry on our behalf, but without us knowing much about it. Scientists are starting to examine their enzymes, find out what they are up to, and see if they can be harnessed to help us. Studying the zoo of microbes, enzymes, and metabolites within our digestive system is clearly an important expanding area of research. It's a fun place to be right now, and there are a lot of opportunities for chemists like you and chemical biologists as well. Figuring out how this varies between people and what the biological consequences of gut microbial chemistry are will be really important and essential to transform our views of what it is to be human. Microbiomes outnumber our biological cells in the body, and that's scary. They rule and reign according to their good or bad status. After food goes through a biological process of digestion, metabolism, absorption, and assimilation, the microbiomes take over the digestion of the bolus. If a substance in the food, for example, pyruvate, is not digested in your gut, and this is due to the absence of pyruvate digesting bacteria. How crazy is that? So the pyruvate becomes an undigested metabolite and gets accumulated in the cell. Genes are genes no more control our destiny, but microbiome does. It triggers the expression of the genes in those areas where it rules. It's like herd mentality, they say, in the animal kingdom. It is the survival of the fittest. The strongest and the baddest guys take over the domain. Woohoo! They even communicate with the brain and tell it what to do. What does this mean to our body? Where do we go from here? There are metabolic tests available right now to check your gut biome from your metabolite or fecal matter. If any one gut bacterial group is lacking, you have to supplement that bacteria in your system and allow it to increase by taking the necessary prebiotic and probiotic supplements. Now, taking you all down back in memory lane, like thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, Louis Pasteur was a gifted scientist who demonstrated that certain microscopic organisms, like microbes, were able to cause diseases. As he and other scientists continued investigating, more and more diseases were found to be caused by microbes, especially bacteria. Now, this resulted in bacteria having a very negative public image. Now, since God is relational, it makes sense that people who were created in His image were created to have relationships. The Bible emphasizes many different relationships, including our relationship to God and our relationships with one another. Sin has brought broken relationships and death into this world. While evolutionists recognize that relationships are important and often interpret their findings within their worldview, They have no logical basis for why this phenomenon should exist. It goes beyond this too. The fact that God is by nature relational is reflected through all of creation, even down to the microscopic world. The existence of pathogens, disease causing microbes, is not difficult to explain within the biblical worldview. When God created the world, everything was very good. Genesis 1:31 says, just as the triune God has always existed in loving harmony with himself, so his creation was in harmony. At that time, there were no pathogens, yet people were given a choice and they chose to disobey God. Sin entered the world, and with it, broken relationships, pain, and death, as said in Genesis 3, verse 4. This understanding has helped creation scientists investigate why some bacteria can become pathogenic. It is also important not to rush to sweeping conclusions in areas where new scientific discoveries are being made. Those who believed that all bacteria were harmful had a biased, inaccurate view of bacteria. When people rush to conclusions that some things are useless, example, vestigial organs, pseudogenes, junk DNA, are always harmful, example, viruses, mutations, they are likely to be wrong. While the evidence of brokenness from sin may be what is initially most obvious, a deeper look may reveal incredible design, intelligent design that can only be attributed to an all wise, all intelligent creator. Thank you. Have a great day, and I will see you in my next.